I can only imagine.
But it's great you're here. It's really a pleasure to meet you.
It is, and I'm very excited. Thank you everyone for joining us. Today we're joining Nick Reynolds.
G'day Clifton, how are we?
I am just fantastic, and I am so ecstatic about this opportunity. You know, we met a couple days ago and we're looking at the different changes in technology.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of hesitance of our industry here in the States to gravitate towards technologies they've been adopted across the world for a very long time.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand how far behind we are here on our technologies.
It's not necessarily behind, Clifton, like US is in front in many ways, but it is a market that's changing.
Yes, absolutely. And so from the technical side and from the educator side, what struggle we have had is many of our educators, many of our trainers in the industry have grown up with technologies that are pretty much no longer existent.
Yeah.
You know, our single stage and two stage equipment, our single through 4 or 5 speed motors, PSC technologies, they're all gone.
Yeah.
And the things that we're transitioning to are things that we have utilized here for a pretty good amount of time in the commercial and industrial sectors.
Yeah.
Variable technology it's been around decades, but the adaptation in the residential market hasn't.
Yeah, it's changing.
Until now.
Yeah.
So this has been the opportunity. This expo has shown us all the initiative by our manufacturers to educate an industry on where we are going and where we need to go.
Yeah.
And the products that I've seen here today fit so many bills. And even in applications, which I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about, that I didn't even realize we were going to have here in the States already.
Yeah.
And one of the things we've talked about a lot on our programs on our Did You Know show over the last few months is incentives that we're going to be seeing here in the United States, things like the IRA. We have a lot of funds coming through.
Yeah, I mean, there's I believe $1 trillion coming to the industry in terms of rebates, around electrification, around moving to low carbon footprint, more sustainable technologies. And you know, I mean, I'm an Aussie from Australia, and you know, we have a big country, as big as America, but we have very little people in it. It's like 24 million people.
Absolutely.
And what's interesting is the fact that we have moved to a ductless business.
Almost the entire industry.
Yeah. All of Australia is basically ductless.
Absolutely.
But they did that because they had to move to get more people on the same network, create more heating where it's cold, domestic hot water,
biggie.
You know, where you need it, and radiant heat and hot showers, but also cooling, because it's a big place, there's a lot of deserts, and do it in a way that's efficient. So
for an entire
whole,
So not much different than the environments that we have here in the United States. Very similar terrains and atmospheric conditions. Now, was there a time that you had more ducted homes?
We have big homes like here in the US.
Okay.
So Australians love a big house. It's been a pretty affordable, good place to live.
Right.
And that they struggled with, like, how do we do that?
Transition.
Well, no, they struggled really with going, hey, it's expensive to cool my home.
Sure.
It's expensive to heat it, make it comfortable, and have hot water on demand. And do it in a way that's like not sustainable for the environment, but sustainable for their back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So money, you know, and so they've moved very aggressively to ductless business.
Right.
And I think we're starting to see that happening in the US.
I believe so.
10% is what I'm told of the US. In the US market, overall, ductless is a $3 billion business.
Sure.
But ducted today is 27. So together they're $30 billion a year. That's the HVAC industry in the US, but only 10% is ductless. But that's growing very quickly.
Drastically, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing that's been exciting for us. And so we're just helping prepare our technicians, we're helping our contractors, our educators understand that it's not something that's being forced upon the industry. It's encouraged.
It makes sense.
It makes complete sense. It's the only way we can sustain our footprint and reduce our carbon footprint.
Yeah.
So the way that we address that is with technologies that are producing heat at very low ambient conditions.
Exactly.
More than anyone in the industry from 20 years ago, from single and two-stage heat pumps, could ever even comprehend.
Yeah.
And now we have a variety of new applications. So what directions have we went for the residential and the light commercial industry?
Yeah, so I mean, before I just answer your question, I think it's important for everyone to understand, like, Hitachi is rising sun in Japanese, and as a Japanese founding company for 80 years, we've been doing cooling and heating.
Yeah.
And today, after like going to bed at 4:30 a.m. and a big night out, like I feel about 80 years old, and I probably look 80 years old. But we actually celebrated that 2 weeks ago, and Japan. And if you look at Japanese brands, they are foundational in HVAC. And a lot of the core technology, including like the scroll compressor. Has anyone heard of a scroll compressor?
A couple of them out there.
Okay.
Just a few.
So, yeah, well, we invented that. We also invented the first packaged air unit.
Right.
We invented the world's first window unit. People don't have so many window units here anymore, but like they're popular in some parts of the world.
Sure they are.
So Hitachi's built that foundational core technology in a lot of this industry. So, and as a brand, a lot of people may not have it on the tip of their tongue, because here in the US, we are 3% of the total market.
Sure.
But we're growing really quickly.
Yeah.
And outside of USA and Canada, like we're a top 3 ductless premium Japanese brand.
Absolutely.
And we are a household name. So if you get on a bullet train, it's Hitachi. If you get on an elevator or an escalator, it's Hitachi. You buy chemicals, you buy power tools.
Yeah.
You know, in Australia, when I took this job, they're like, "G'day, I'm Nick from Hitachi." They're like, "Oh, you do power tools, you do construction, digging equipment."
Trades,
but we do all that, and I'm like, yes, we do.
Sure.
But we also do cooling and heating.
Yes.
And we're a big Japanese company that's backed by JCI, Johnson Controls.
Right.
So we have a joint venture with them.
There.
So it's important to have local partners.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I've been absolutely impressed. I've seen everything I was hoping to find in one place. I found all my inverters. I have found all of my IRA tax credits, multiple pieces of equipment that are Energy Star certified, which a lot of contractors have been struggling with is, what equipment am I looking at?
Yeah.
I have a variety of pieces of equipment, including dual fuel hybrid systems with low ambient condition heat pumps, matched with gas furnaces, electronic expansion valves, which I won't even go on that tangent, which I love. It just brings all of the capabilities into a small environment where we can look at our options for every home. And tell me a little bit about this Yutaki M. This was a really fascinating piece of equipment.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, like Yutaki doesn't mean chicken on a stick. That's yakitori. You probably ate that. You've eaten that before in a Japanese restaurant.
Right.
But Yutaki actually means yu is hot, taki is waterfall.
Oh, beautiful.
And the reason we're talking about Yutaki is because that is the name of the #1 market share heating product in Europe.
Okay.
And the model we announced here in the US that we're bringing this year is Yutaki M. And what it does is it does cooling in summer for air. It does heating so you're comfortable in winter for air. But it also does domestic hot water.
That's crazy.
In an all-in-one unit.
Yeah. All inverter.
All inverter, and it's a heat pump.
Yeah.
So it's an air-to-water heat pump. It takes energy from the air and converts that, right? And what that does is we're able to cool your home, warm your home. You can put radiant heat under the floor, so your feet are nice and warm.
Sure.
If you're in a cold environment, that's the #1 way to actually keep warm. Because there's actually just apart from your hand, it's the number 2 place in your body, believe it or not,
For heat absorption.
for heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's, you got more nerve endings in your feet than anywhere else.
Yep.
And in an all-in-one monoblock unit, it means that refrigerant sits outside the home. Whether you're HVAC, if you're a Joe plumber,
Right.
you just connect that to cold water, hot water, and electric, and you don't have to worry about refrigerant.
Right.
So no refrigerant handling is required. That's very innovative. It's very new to the US.
Sure, that is.
And I see a lot of systems where there's indoor unit, outdoor unit, refrigerant moving,
It's all
but
we're
that
used to.
does it in an all-in-one, and it sits outside the home,
Self-contained package system.
self-contained. So it's and with the refrigerant being R32, like not maybe everybody understands that, but it's
Sure.
got a lower, global warming point. So
Absolutely.
and it's super efficient.
It is.
What's interesting is I can have a hot shower at 140 Fahrenheit,
Okay.
but outside it's minus 13.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And because we're Japanese and we're Hitachi, we always take it to the next level.
Okay.
And we've done testing with some of our Chinese, Korean, and Japanese competitors,
Sure, why
and
not?
American.
Yeah.
And they basically all shut off or shut down, but ours doesn't. If you're in really low ambient conditions, it's a great solution.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's why it's been a hit here at the show.
Yeah, I was very fascinated with that. And you brought up another point I almost forgot. We've had a lot of, even our distributors, our HVAC distributors and contractors, asking, well, when is this R32 coming to market?
Yeah.
So we've been preaching, we even do a low GWP training course to prepare our technicians and our educators for this transition into low GWP refrigerants.
Yeah.
And as you can see,
Everything here is heat pumps.
it's
And-
all R32. Everything that I am seeing is meeting the bill for, I sometimes feel like this bell ringer of the apocalypse in our industry, because we've known this is coming for years. And now it's not coming,
We have dates.
it's here.
And I think what's important is that R32 is not new in most of the world.
No, not at all.
And beyond R32, there's a roadmap for more efficient refrigerants than that.
Yes,
So this is on that path of sustainability.
exactly.
I was talking to some Texans, and they were like, they're probably like Australians. They're like, what matters is money. And but they were putting in solar. They're
Yeah.
putting in
All
huge
the additional
wind
supplementary-
farms,
Yeah.
and it's not talk about sustainability green. It's like what makes sense financially. But the country needs to have those extra electricity, because that Hitachi unit,
Right.
you put in 1 unit of electricity, you get 4 units of geothermal heat,
COP.
right?
Yeah.
So it's extremely efficient.
Absolutely.
Right? Just makes sense.
Wow. This has been a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, this means so much to our industry, because there are a variety of people within our industry that are resistant to these changes. There are a variety of us that are just
I understand.
absolutely excited. And now we can see it directly, that this is not just a push that we've had from our federal government to move us a certain direction. This is us catching up with the rest of the world and understanding our own green awareness,
Yeah.
our own global impact, and our carbon footprint
Yeah.
in a much broader perspective.
And Clifton, the US is a big country,
Yes.
but it has a lot of people and amazing industries, right? But what's exciting is, we are a Japanese brand that's known,
Yeah.
that's coming back strong.
Very.
Our business last year more than doubled.
Wow.
And people like, oh, I know
I
Hitachi.
know that name.
Right? But what's interesting is, in Japan,
Yeah.
top 3 brand. Taiwan, number 1 brand.
Wow.
China in VRF, number 1 brand.
Wow.
And we have manufacturing footprints around the world.
Sure.
That unit's coming out of Barcelona in Spain,
Wow.
right? But we have many other sites around the world. And I'm hoping coming very soon, manufacturing much more closely to the US market. So we'll see.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
Wow,
but
that's
we're
interesting.
committing long term.
Yeah.
So if you want to deal with great product, a good growing team, and a brand and technology that makes sense,
Sure.
it's great for your listeners, your readers, your followers, and everyone to know, Hitachi is back, baby.
Yeah.
Hitachi is back.
Love it. Nick Reynolds, such an honor.
It's a pleasure.
What is the best way for people to learn more about Hitachi products and the wave of changes that they're making in our industry?
I think the first thing anyone does is jumps online.
Yes.
So have a look at www.hitachiaircon.com.
Yep.
That's whatever
That's the
country
starting
in the
point,
world, that's
right?
where, and go there,
Okay.
look at the US and our portfolio, learn about our products,
Sure.
download the information. All of our products and information are there. We have all of our where to buy for our distributors, our resellers,
Yeah.
and that's growing very quickly.
Nice.
That's the first place. But, people like buying from people, and we're, social animals,
Yes.
humans.
We
So
are.
please reach out to a distributor, partner, or reach out to us directly.
Yep.
We'd love to talk to you, to the team, to all your followers, students,
Sure.
educators. Hitachi here in the US is a really fast growing team, and who knows, we have a lot of job openings too, so lots of
There you go.
opportunities there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. And I hope you all enjoyed this amazing opportunity to dive a little deeper into the world of Hitachi.
Thanks, and as we say in Japan, arigato gozaimasu, that means thank you, and sayonara, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show, brought to you by the ESCO Institute and HVAC Excellence. Our mission is to bring the top educators of the industry here for you in a live, unique experience so that you can join us from multiple social platforms, all with the opportunity to ask questions, to be involved, and to learn about the things that are changing in our industry as they are changing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notifications when we go live every week. Are you an educator looking for resources to be the best that you can be? Man, you're in the right place. And we invite you to come join us at the National HVACR Education Conference, where we bring all of these guests and many more, along with manufacturers and different organizations of the trade, so that we can all be in one place at one time and gather this information to make us better together. How do you learn more? Go to escogroup.org, select HVAC Excellence, and then the conference. I look forward to seeing you again next week on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show.